What's going on, y'all? So last weekend, I was having a discussion with one of my homies, JDHD. Shout out to you, Jay, about playing in different cities and how our normal residencies that we have here in Vegas, specifically We All Scream, which is a nightclub in downtown Las Vegas that I have a Saturday residency at, and Jay does Fridays there, and how that venue in particular and the crowds that we deal with on a week to week basis have such a way of training you to be prepared for a lot of different environments and how it makes playing in different places seem a little easier because we've seen so many things. And it got me thinking about how certain venues that you've played, and especially if you play them on a kind of regular basis, can kind of make you as a DJ. And for me personally, those two venues would have to be Mountain Bar, which was in Chinatown in LA, which is now called General Lee's, and Commonwealth here in downtown Las Vegas. I played, I'll start with the first one, Mountain Bar, which was actually my first residency ever. And man, I learned so much as a DJ, probably just because I was kind of just starting out. I was probably in my first year or year or two actually playing out and doing gigs. But I mean, before that, bedroom DJ for many, many years. But the one thing you learn very quickly making that transition from playing in your bedroom or playing for your homies at like a house party or something to playing in a club setting is managing energy and managing expectations of the patrons is way different. And I don't know if this happens to all DJs, but I'm sure it happens to many DJs. When you're first starting out, you kind of panic because you don't know where to go, you don't know what to play, what you thought would work isn't working, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many variables when you don't have the experience of how to overcome those situations when you're just starting out. And just going through the fire of playing that club over and over and over again and getting that experience of playing in front of like hundreds of people really, I cut my teeth in that place. I have so many memories, and I'm so thankful and grateful that I got my start there because I was able to play a little bit of what I wanted to play, and then at the same time, the expectation of figuring out what people want to hear as a DJ, and making that transition into like, oh, I want to be a club DJ. I want to play these spots. And I was able to experiment, and I was able to figure out my sound and my style, just through trial and error. And thankfully, the management at the venue, as well as the people putting the party together, trusted me enough to just, do my set and do my thing. And that's where I first learned to hold a room, right? And do it myself. I've seen other DJs do it, and I've preached about going out and watching other DJs and picking up things, but that's where I first really put it to practice, right? And I thought I had it down, and I thought like, okay, I'm okay at this. Started playing other spots in LA. Then I finally get the first chance to play in Las Vegas. The first spot I played was Commonwealth. And I had the opportunity to play there. At this time, me and one of my friends who was eventually became my roommate in New York, we were putting out these series of mixes, like one a month, that was not necessarily like club stuff, but it was just cool music, right? And the head of marketing booking there caught a liking to it and wanted to book us. So we got the opportunity to play there, and we were able to play the kind of style that we were playing in our mixes, but at the same time too, because of the experience that I had playing in LA and gaining that experience at Mountain Bar, I knew how to pivot into playing more of a club set if the time, that we're playing called for it. And which it did. I mean, it's Las Vegas, so not everyone wants to hear cool edits and remixes and, different genres of music rather than like the club stuff. So I was able to mix everything in, or we were able to mix everything in, and the bookers were happy, the head of marketing was happy, and they called us back to do it a second time. Uh, Now that we had a little bit more experience, figuring out what the venue wanted and like what the crowd was like, we did even better that second time. Then after that, I kept in touch with the booker, and he would have me back out once a month to open for huge big name DJs, as far as like open formats concerned, at that time. So I'm talking like Fashion, Graham Funky, Stone Rock, etc. Right? Then eventually he needed a full-time opener, someone that could be there to open at least once a week, if not more. And figured out, financially would it make sense. So I took the risk and I jumped to Vegas, and I was the resident opener for Commonwealth. And man, that first year, it was a learning experience. Um, you know, in LA at that time, before that, where I was playing, it was very normal to play anywhere from half an hour to maybe an hour. So that's kind of what I was used to. When I got to Commonwealth and had to start opening, the opener slot was at least 2 hours. So I had to learn to stretch my set. I had to learn to dig for music and make the time for that, and then take the extra time to work that into my sets. It taught me a lot more about DJing. And because I was doing this full time at this point, I had the time to really hone my craft, spend time at home practicing, getting everything right, and then trying it out when I got to the club. Then having the opportunity at Common to open for so many amazing DJs, people that I looked up to for a long time, from the people that I just named to Steve Wonder to who else? Miles Medina to DJ Five to DJ Scratchy to so many different people, right? That I had the opportunity to play and open with, or open for. Sorry. It taught me not only to think about who you're opening for, but how to set them up correctly. Listen to their mixes, listen to stuff that they have out, kind of figure out their style and set them up the best way without burning them. Taught me how to really kind of pace my set, right? This is something that I didn't really have to learn in LA because I was only playing for an hour tops, maybe. And man, it was like going to school all over again. Just making sure to go out the nights I wasn't working and hearing other DJs, open format DJs, play like Vegas rooms, and figuring out the Vegas energy and figuring out how to incorporate that into the style that I play. Because it was different. I was playing different. I mean, in LA, a lot of the times you would hear people play 2 verses of a song before transitioning out, right? But in Vegas, I learned very quickly that the attention span wasn't that long, and I really didn't have a concept of quick mixing when I got here. But now it's my style. It's an integral part of the way I play. And hearing other DJs play that, especially DJ Impact, he was the other resident opener at Common, and man, playing with that guy and like night after night, and hearing the way he puts sets together, because he's been doing it longer, really not only inspired me, but also made me go back to the drawing board after every weekend, hit the turntables and figure out, okay, how is he doing this? How is he mixing this fast? How can I do that in my own way? And it really changed the way that I sounded as a DJ. Just incorporating that quick mixing style, because in LA, you know, you have like 8-bar blends into every transition, and it sounds great. But if you have, at least here, or just the way my sound developed, if you keep that as your style the entire night, it's kind of like one note, right? You don't have those peaks and valleys of like surprises and things you can get with like adding in like a combo of like 3 or 4 different songs quick mixed, or like cutting in a track instead of like having an 8-bar intro, etc. All of that stuff I learned at Commonwealth, and those skills, along with the relationships I developed with other DJs playing there, allowed me to start traveling more. You know, they knew that I could hold down a Vegas room. They've seen it in person, or they've heard other people say that I can do it. And it allowed me to travel and go to different markets in different cities. And that also taught me more about just how different crowds can be in different parts of the country and eventually different parts of the world. But none of that would be possible without those 2 venues, Mountain Bar in Chinatown, LA, and Commonwealth in downtown Vegas. And I am forever grateful for those venues. And I think that any DJ that's been doing this long enough has that short list of places that really changed the game for them, as far as learning, as far as developing them as DJs. And I'm very curious, what venues kind of made you as a DJ? I'd love to hear about it. Go ahead and leave that down in the comments. Be sure to read all of them and respond to as many as I can. And of course, if you're interested in more DJ related content, please be sure to click on one of the videos right here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.